Papa Cheddar, if you can't sit still, in England we say you've got ants in your pants.
I was trying to turn to a superhero like Ant-Man, get the nuclear reactor with ants in your pockets. Didn't work out. They won't leave.
I think we should have a seance. Where's we need to light a fire. There's no fire.
Okay, who
Ow.
are we waiting
Who's
for?
throwing rocks?
The blackguard can take it. It's all right.
The thing is, you don't see who's throwing anything whatsoever.
Yeah, I didn't. It's just like random rock.
So this is Rusty Gears SMP. Welcome everybody. So I'll start, I think, by just going over the basic rules. Alright, so as far as resource gathering goes, resources will be gathered inside, there's like a 1,000 block kind of radius almost around this point. More or less, don't worry about exact numbers, just go decently far out for when we're making mega bases and stuff like that for gathering resources. It's just so we can keep a general area around the shopping district, which will be around here, just so that we can keep that looking very nice and natural and just untouched. But until then, feel free to use any resources within that area and within this area. But if you need to do mass gathering of lots of resources, then rather just make sure it's a little bit out of the way or start a farm for it. And then obviously the shopping district will be built kind of in this area around this church. And then pranks are allowed. So on that note, is there anybody who doesn't want to have pranks played on them?
No, I don't mind.
Silence.
I feel like
Yeah, I think
pranks should-
everybody is pretty well saying that pranks are going to be fair game.
Alright.
Yeah, and I'm assuming the pranks are gonna like kind of happen a little bit later on when we're like a little more established.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It'd be nice if it waited for just a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or just completely pack someone's base with straw dummies. You know, you never know.
Yeah,
I'll just plant like sunflowers everywhere.
passive pranks. Yes. As for rules, that's actually it. For the
Sounds
basic
good to
rules.
me.
Here.
Yeah,
Yes.
cool.
Okay.
Sounds like
All right. I feel like I should say like hike or something, like just.
Do
But,
we want to
yeah,
go
there we
around
go.
the circle and
I'll go
introduce
around.
everyone?
Yes. All right. So I'll go clockwise from where I am. So I am Jaybird, and yeah, I'm Jaybird, and then this is Soul Rangers, and we've got Apache here, we've got Shanton, and Nathan, Hypnotic, Andy Days, and we've got All Gamer and Papa Cheddar, and we are the Rusty Gears SMP. So I think our name is I've just had it in my head that we'd be called like Gears. Like, that's just what I've always thought of. I haven't ever like thought of it out loud, but that's, yeah. Like every time I think of it in my head, it's just like, these are the fellow Gears, kind of like hermits, but Gears.
Not
I
the
don't know.
Rusties.
No.
Just cogs
I
in
feel-
the machine. That's all we are.
I feel like cogs in the machine and Rusty have very different meanings.
I hope nobody calls us crusty rusties.
Oh no.
We will now.
Everyone, please cut that part out of your recordings.
That stays in. That stays
We
in.
cannot let them know.
Perfect.
Okay, do you want to quickly outline that we've got this beautiful ruin here, and we're going to try and set up a community centre to start with?
Yes, so we'll set up just a community center to start with, just a little safe space where people can run to if they are in danger or to get group items. So everything that we put in here, anybody will be welcome to take, unless you do want stuff that's just yours. Just make sure that you have your own little storage thing for that. And then after that, when you feel ready, then we can branch out in groups or just in different general directions wherever we feel. And
Yeah,
I
this
remember
looks cool.
Apache, you were asking for a lake, preferably, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Wow, we have it. But also, we've got chert and we've got. Is that granite we started on? The
Yeah.
spawn?
I
is
think
just
so, yes.
a bit away. So we've already got 2 nice rocks to build with.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
nice.
Shall we head off and start
Yeah.
nothing?
I
Yeah.
think that sounds like
I'm
a
ready.
great
Let's
idea.
go doing...
I
Yeah, let's
managed.
get to it.
So I figured I would head out into the world and see what I could find. There was loads of copper, as well as a small amount of tin scattered here and there. Quite a large number of berry bushes were collected, and of course, traders. Of course, making the first stone tools, and then collecting reeds to make baskets to increase our inventory size. Sticks were rather in short supply, so tons of leaf punching ensued. Our first axe head was napped, an axe was created, and our first logs were collected. I realized torches couldn't just be made from sticks, and made some extinguished torches so that I had some light for the first night. Wandering at night may not be the best of ideas, but finding a large deposit of terra preta in the middle of the night was well worth it. Inventory had become so much of a problem that I decided to make a reed basket and take advantage of the carry capacity mod. Of course, clay is a vitally important resource, so some of that was collected. Looting ruins is always fun. At this point, I figured it was probably a good idea to head back to the community center and help get some things set up. I figured the most important thing to get going right away was a farm. Ashanti and I worked together to get the ground cleared, placed, all of the seeds planted, and then a trench created around the outside of the farm, as well as fences to protect it. Thankfully, other people had been out hunting, so we were in no short supply of meat to cook and eat. We found an interesting bug that will allow berry bushes to float. With the farm up and running and the trap collecting hairs, I figured it was time to turn my attention to making some pottery. It was rather fun to let Hypnotic know that multiple people could work on pottery at once.
Whoa, that's fast.
Yes.
Is that Nathan?
That is amazing. I love it. The community center was beginning to feel rather safe and secure, so we weathered out the second night together in the community center. Wolves were prowling around the community center, and I nearly died. I made a bunch of beds, and it was amazing seeing so many people sleeping side by side. While I was out grinding some resources, Hypnotic had been doing some cooking, and we had all the food we could need. We added a simple above-ground soil cellar just so that our food wouldn't spoil quite so quickly. The resource grind had been going for quite some time, so I decided to add a roof to the community center. Apache had already made an anvil mold, charcoal, and had smelted some copper, and so we had our first copper anvil and were ready to start making tools. So, welcome everyone to Vintage Story on the Rusty Gears server. I hope everybody is doing good. I am doing great. Been looking forward to this for quite some time. So yeah, we had a nice long session with everybody. We did a lot of work together, got a decent base set up here. with everybody kind of in here together. And we have a bed for each of the server members. So, yes, lots and lots of beds. But yeah, we've been getting a lot of stuff taken care of here. We have decent food already. We have a copper anvil that has just been made. A little cellar here that has a few little bits of food in it. And lots of storage. So yeah, that is really nice. But I think it is time that I strike out a little bit on my own and start looking at getting my starter base going. So I've actually found a spot over here that I think is going to work really good for the starter base that I have in mind, and that is over here in these mountains. So I've already cleared a large amount of grass and trees and things like that over here, and I've already started a bit of an oak tree farm here. You can see all of these oak saplings, or well, they're planted seeds at the moment, but we will be needing a lot of oak for this. But what we are going to be doing is up here in this little pass right here, and there's a hare there, but in this pass, we are going to be building our base up here. And the base that I've designed out lends itself very well to a more vertical terrain. So this is going to be perfect. So this is where I'm going to be doing it, and it is going to need a lot of oak logs. Now, we do have a tremendous amount of oak in the area. We've got, if we look at our map here, we have a lot of the giant oak trees around here. Now, we don't want to cut all of those down. We can see there's a couple of spots here where somebody kind of messed up, and so we'll just be clearing all of this out. But we are going to need tons and tons of oak. So I suppose what I need to do now is come through here and start clearing out all of this scrubby trees around here and all of the dry grass, things like that, because we're also going to need a lot of dry grass for thatch. We are going to be using thatch roofs, and so just in general, I feel like this is going to be a perfect place to get going. We have lots and lots of copper and tin marked on the surface, so I will be trying to get a pickaxe here very soon, but I don't really need anything in the way of stone to get going on this base. I will be needing a little bit of bauxite, which we have not seen yet. I might be able to use some of this chert that we have here in place of the bauxite. It might look okay, but yes, I have a lot of stuff that I need to be collecting here and cleaning up. We're going to get a path set up into this, and we'll see how things are starting to look here in just a little bit. So I spent some time cleaning around the area that would soon be my base, but I found a ruin and decided that I would go see what it had, and unfortunately a wolf caught me and killed me. So our first death is out of the way. Dang
Welcome to the club, sir.
Well,
it's not a very select club. It's pretty much open to a ton of people at this point.
Yep. I'd say I think Apache is one of the few that hasn't died yet.
Yeah, I haven't done.
Oh, really?
I haven't died yet
Interesting.
either.
No? Oh, what are you guys, where are you guys at? What are you doing, huh?
Shut up, man.
I'm just teasing.
After collecting my stuff, I decided to head back to the community center, melted a bunch of copper and tin, and made my first metal tool heads. With my newly made tools, I decided to go and mine our first bits of copper. At this point, I figured it was probably a good idea to get my path set up back to the community center, as I had been making a lot of trips back and forth, and I had been getting a fair amount of stone from all of the copper mining. And finally, after about 4 hours, I saw my first drifter. path was using a huge amount of stone, and I didn't feel like going out and mining a whole bunch of copper. So instead, I went after a small mountain peak that was kind of in the way for what I had intended to do for my base. I'm just watching Papa Cheddar running away from drifters.
Running? No, we are standing and fighting.
That's not what it looks like to me.
Well, this is called evasive maneuvers. It's
Oh,
tactical.
okay.
It's all very tactical.
Gotcha.
It's the zig and zag maneuver.
All of the mining was rapidly taking its toll on my pickaxe, so I commissioned Apache to make me a new set of tools. I knew I was going to be needing tons of oak for my build, so I went down south of the community center where the leaves had been accidentally knocked off of a couple of giant oaks and cleaned the tree bases up. So the long group recording session finally came to an end, and I decided it was finally time to get into building on the base. So I really haven't gotten much done on the base, but I have gotten a path running all the way back to our community center, and I have collected a large amount of stone. I am just completely removing this mountain because it really didn't feel right. And so, yeah, I've got a lot of stone. Also, I now have trunks and lots of oak because we are going to be needing lots of oak for what we're going to be doing. So, yeah, I have been doing that, and I still need to get a bunch of pine, and also I have bronze tools. So I didn't go through any of that, but yeah, Apache did the tools for me. He's done a whole bunch of stuff in the community center, and it's really starting to shape up quite well here. Do think I need to go and get some food though, but yeah, we are making some progress, and the inside of the community center is looking really good. So yeah, really happy with what's going on. And so I guess I'm gonna go get a bunch of pine now, and we'll continue on. Hopefully I can actually start building on the base. Well, it's amazing what happens when you are gone for the day. And all of my trees have grown. I didn't even recognize this area when I came back. But yeah, we have tons of trees available now, which is great because we need them. So up here on the side of the mountain, we have the beginnings of our base, but I've been struggling a bit to figure out what I'm going to do because I was deviating a bit from my original design. First of all, I've got these cantilevered areas here that weren't originally part of the design, but if I were to put a support pillar all the way down, that would be a very long and ridiculous looking support pillar. So I decided instead to have these cantilevered areas. I think they look a lot nicer. But I was going to start putting the first actual building up here, and the more that I looked at it, the more that it just didn't work. I mean, just literally, it does not work. So instead, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking these little areas out here. These are going to be changed into small farm plots. And this area will simply be another raised platform. So we will have these farm areas, and I'm going to extend this out a little bit wider. And then the next level up will be where we will look at doing some more stuff. And hopefully on that level, we can look at potentially building our actual, well, house, I guess. This floor here, I think, is where I'm actually going to put my storage room and kind of embed it back into the mountain. Now, I have brought a trunk up here that has a lot of the stuff that I've been using for building the base. I still have a whole bunch more to bring up, so I might do that real quick. And then I need to do some major work here because I need these slabs underneath the soil in order to keep it from falling and to keep it looking decent. Also, I will be connecting logs between here, so we're going to need a lot more oak logs. Thankfully, I planted a lot of oak trees. So that is something that's going on. Now also, I did just take a look at it, but over here we have Andy Days and Ashantin. Their base is over there. I am not sure who is still in the community center or around it. Now clear down here to the south, we have some other people. I believe Hippie is down here, and I don't know who she is with, but I'm not sure where everybody else went. Nobody else on the server right now, so I can't even ask. But yeah, I've got to tear this back down because it looks awful. And I'll do a little bit more work here, and hopefully it'll look good. Now, one thing that I am really wanting to do here is the fact that we've got these two peaks here. I want to have a bridge here that runs between these two peaks and potentially do some more work over here. Now, one thing you will notice, there's some copper in the side of this mountain. That might just stay there. Because, yeah, it's scattered all the way down to there and going up. Yeah, surface copper veins follow the terrain. So that would be horrible. Basically, we would be finding copper anywhere that it's close to the top layer. I don't feel like dealing with that. But one thing that we can do with this, if we bridge across there, is to drop down a little bit and then start a bit of a quartz mine in here. I think that would kind of be a neat little thing, because that is a fairly thick quartz vein. That quartz vein does run over to here, but it's not nearly as big over here. And also, you know, even though it is visible here behind this section, I just have no good way to get into it. So yeah, I think that is probably what I'm going to be planning on doing in the future. But for now, I got some stuff to take care of here. So I was hoping to get a bit of work done on the base, but you can see I'm hungry, and I don't want to rely entirely on the food that is back at the community center. So for that reason, I did go out and do some exploring out here to the north of the base, and I got a fair amount of ripe food. We got a whole bunch of berries, we got a little bit of grain, and some vegetables, a whole bunch of berry bushes, and a fair number of seeds. And actually, if we bring all of our seeds together, so I found some cabbage seeds at one point. I do also have some terra preta, so yeah, we've got some of that going on. And then looks like we have some flax there. So yeah, we have a fair amount of seeds as well. So we're gonna need to get all that planted, and that's part of what we're gonna be working on here. But first, we need to get some actual stuff to do some cooking. So over here we have a whole bunch of clay, and what we're gonna do is work on getting some pottery up and running, because I haven't done any. So yes, what we need to do, I'm actually probably going to need more than one stack of clay, but I'm going to need to make a cooking pot and a couple other things. But actually, for the moment, I think what I will do is head down to the community center and use the pots down there to at least cook one pot of food for me, and then I'll work on getting some pottery. But we should have, over here, we've got a whole bunch of logs, so I think we'll take maple and use that as firewood, and that should work out just fine. So yeah, that should be enough to cook a full pot of food. We do have another empty bowl down here at the base. Oh, and there is Hippie. Awesome, awesome. Let's go ahead and say hi. So yeah, I'm gonna head back to the community center, get a little bit of food cooked up here because we really need it. I did get all of my stuff cleaned up down here, and I guess actually we have a bit of flax here. That should... I thought we had some flax grain. Oh, I think I ate it. Yep, I think I ate it. So, yeah. Anyway, I suppose I can set down a chest. I will see you guys in a bit. So, got a whole bunch of stuff that we've been working on here. I brought all of my berry bushes down here and planted them, so hopefully we'll be getting some berries here the next time that we log on. And we had a little bit of a gift from Hypnotic, and we can see it when we look up here. There is light up there. So yes, we have a torch in our hand, but we're going to be able to do much better than that now, because she has gotten bees going, and she brought us a Molybdechokos lantern. So we can grab that and put that in our offhand, and oh my god, that is so much better. Now the other thing is, we have a bunch of amaranth grain here. I went and just picked up a bit from the community center because we have a bunch of red currants as well. And so what we're going to do is we are going to just put some of this in here, and I guess we need 6 in each spot, and then we'll light that, and we will have a decent amount of food that we can use going forward. And then I can drop this guy off here. Don't have to worry about it anymore. But yeah, that will allow me to use up the rest of my red currants here, so I will be making another batch of that here in just a little bit. But also you can see here we have 4 of these little garden paddocks here, and so that's really nice. Now it is a bit warm here for the turnips and the carrots, so I wanted to see for sure, but it's a little warm for them. Onions, cabbage, flax, and I believe spelt. Spelt is another one. Spelt, amaranth, and sunflowers. So we'll have plenty of grain available. But we're going to be a little bit lacking on vegetables, but at least we have some cabbage. That is nice. The onions we can find quite easily around here. But we've got that taken care of, so we've got some stuff growing. And I guess I am missing some slabs here. So let's go ahead and grab some slabs, or a slab. Now I did also make a bucket so that I could transfer the water up here. And then I put trapdoors on top of those so that I wouldn't fall into the water. It is a little bit awkward walking over them, but it works. Definitely keeps me from falling in and having to be constantly jumping out. And then on top of that, I have started making the next floor. So if we come up here, we have the beginnings of our next floor area. Now, I don't know for sure how deep into the mountain I want to go with this. And we may just use this as another farming platform and actually take our base a little bit different. You know, I've designed the feel for this, but I didn't get the specifics. The specifics. So yeah, we've got a little bit more stuff to figure out for sure on that. But also we have our crocks now, so we can grab this, and then if we place it down somewhere that's protected, it's going to last a little longer. Now unfortunately, it is not showing us, and I think it doesn't show us in the town hall either, how long this stuff has until it spoils. So I'm not really sure how we'll go about checking that, but I am going to cook up this last little bit here, and while that is cooking, I am also going to go down and cut down all of the trees that we have out here on the plain and replant those. And the main reason for that is the fact that I am going to call it quits for this one. So yeah, I'm sure I have plenty of footage from the initial recording. If not, this episode may be a little bit shorter. I mean, that is fine. But I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, I got to get used to this again. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what I've been working on or anything that you want to see here on Rusty Gears, be sure to leave that down in the comments. And I will see you and be sure to check out everyone else on the server. Link is down in the description. But I will see you next time. Bye.